Today's topic is competitive situation, game theory. This topic is from the subject operation research, and this subject is being taught to our BTCM students. First of all, let us try to understand what is game theory. My dear friend, you know very well that life is full of conflict and competition. In business scenario, there are a lot of competitions among the companies, and in most of the cases they always try to maximize their profit and minimize their losses. Today we will discuss about the game theory, and we will see that how the game theory can be utilized for the case of decision making scenario. First of all, let us discuss about what is game theory. Many decision is taken in a competitive situation in which the outcome depends not on that decision alone, but rather on the interaction between the decision maker and that of a competitor. The term games now include not only pleasurable activities of this kind, but also much more earnest competitive situations of war and peace. And as you know that the game theory was developed during the Second World War, and the game theory was being extensively utilized during Second World War and in different occasions. But it is not out of the way to say that in gambling also this game theory is being extensively used. Nowadays in business management, in different occasions the game theory is being utilized, and a lot of calculations are required for finding out the proper decision, and nowadays computers are extensively used for different calculations in decision making theory for the game theory. Let us see what a game theory means. A competitive situation is called a game if it has certain properties. There are a finite number of participants called players. Each player has finite number of possible course of action. A play occurs when each player chooses one of his courses of action. The choices are assumed to be made simultaneously, that is, no player knows the choice of another until he has decided his own. Every combination of course of action determines an outcome which result in a gain to each player. A loss is considered a negative gain. There is always gain for both the players, but as you know, for any game either a player wins or a player loses. So if a player wins ₹2 in any game, the other player has to lose ₹2. In this case we can say that the player who is winning ₹2, he is having positive gain of ₹2, and the player who is losing ₹2, for his case it will be a negative gain, that is he is winning -2 rupees. And in this case there is no cut for the house. As you know, in professional gambling there is a cut for the house, but in this case for the game theory, plain game theory, either a player wins or the player loses, and there is no cut for the house. Rather, we should say that no resources is generated or destroyed during the course of play. Now, let us discuss about some very important point about the payoff matrix. The games resulting from zero sum game, two-persons game are most easily represented in the form of matrix known as the payoff matrix. Let us take out this example. See here this is a zero sum two-persons game. That means two persons are playing or participating in that game, and there are three rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, and these rows represents for player A's course of action. So, in this case, since there are only three rows, so we can say for player A there are three courses of action, but for player B there are four columns. So, the column represents the courses of action for the player B. So, since there are four columns, we can say that there are four courses of action for player B. So, the number of rows in this matrix represents the number of courses of actions for player A, and the number of columns in this payoff matrix represents the number of courses of action for player B. Now, let us see what does it mean for the each and every element for this payoff matrix. So, here you see that if the player A takes the third course of action and at the same time the player B also employs his first course of action, in that case the gain for A is minus A. That means A has to pay ₹1 to B, or in terms of any unit, A will pay 1 unit to player B. And let us take another case. If the player A takes the second course of action and the player B takes the fourth course of action, so in that case the gain for A is ₹3. That means B has to pay ₹3 to player A. So, any element in the matrix represents the gains for player A. Take the example for player A if he takes the first course of action and the player B if he takes third course of action. So, in that case the gain for A is -2. That means A has to pay B ₹2. So, this is all about the payoff matrix. So, with the help of this payoff matrix, we will see how we will get the outcome of this game theory. But let us see that what are the outputs for any game problem. So, the output of this game problem is what are the courses, best course of actions player A should take or player B should take, or what is the value of the game, and value of the game is the gain for player A. If it is +2, that means the player B has to pay player A ₹2. If it is -2, in that case the player A has to be ₹2 to player B. Now, there are strategies for any game theory. The strategy of player is the decision rule he uses to decide which course of action he should employ. This strategy may be classified into two categories, either a pure strategy and a mixed strategy. A pure strategy is a decision always to select the same course of action, and a mixed strategy is a decision to choose at least two of his courses of action with fixed probabilities. And my dear friend, you know that if the two courses of actions for a mixed strategy, the probabilities are same, that is 0.5 each, then he can choose any of his course of action. How to decide? He may take a coin to spin and accordingly he can choose his course of action. Now, when a pure strategy will take, in that case we should have a saddle point in the payoff matrix. First of all, let us see what does it mean, what a saddle point means. See, let us take this example for a simple payoff matrix. This is the payoff matrix in rupees for two persons game. There is player A and there is player B, and player A is having 3 courses of action and player B is having 3 courses of action. So, you see that if the player A takes the first option, so let us see that what are the worst cases may occur in each of these 3 options for player A, and we have to see the best possibilities among the worst cases for these 3 options. So, here you see the for player A, if he takes the first course of action, so the worst case is he has to pay -3 to his gain is -3. In case of second option, he will gain ₹1, and in the third option the worst case is he has to pay ₹7 to player B, because -7 means the negative gain to player A, that means he has to pay ₹7 to player B. Now, among these 3 options, the second option is the best for the player A. Why? Because if he takes the first option, he has to pay the minimum ₹3 to player B, and if he takes the second option, he will get ₹1, and if he takes the third option, the worst possibilities is this, that he has to pay ₹7. So, out of these 3 options, the second option is the best for the player A, that means he can assure at least minimum gain of ₹1. In case of player B, if he takes the first option, the worst case is he has to give ₹1 to player A. If he takes the second option for the player B, the maximum value is 5. So, the worst case is he has to pay ₹5 to player A, and if he takes the third option, the worst case is he has to pay ₹11 to player A. So, among the 3 worst cases for player B, the best one is the first option. So, player B will always takes the first course of action, and for player A we will always consider the second courses of action throughout, and this point is the value of the gain, or this is known as the saddle point. And you see, the saddle point means it is the lowest in that row and highest in this column. So, this is the saddle point, and this is the outcome or solution of the game theory for this payoff matrix. First of all, what is the solution? We have to find out which courses of action either this player A or player B will consider. But in this case, for player A, if he takes the first course of action, the worst thing is this -3 gain, that means he has to pay ₹3 to player B. If player A considers his second course of action, at least he will gain minimum ₹1, and if he takes third course of action, the worst case is he has to pay ₹7. So, out of these 3 worst cases, second is the best. So, player A will always consider second course of action throughout. Now, let us consider the case for player B. For player B, if he takes the first course of action, then the worst case is he has to give ₹1 to player A, and if he takes second course of action, the worst case is he has to pay ₹5 to player A, and if he takes the third course of action, the worst case is he has to pay ₹11. So, out of these 3 worst cases, the best is the ₹1 to give to player A for the first course of action. So, the solution is the player B will always play his first course of action, and player A will always play second course of action, and this cutting point is known as the saddle point, and this is the value of the game, and the saddle point lies in such a way that it is the lowest in that row and highest in this column. Now, the solution of the game involves what we have discussed, the best strategies for both players and the value of the game, and for pure strategies the value of the game lies at the saddle point in the payoff matrix. Now, saddle point, as I already mentioned, is an element of the matrix which is both the smallest element in its row and the largest element in its column. Now, let us take another simple problem for the game theory. The payoff matrix for the two persons zero sum game is as given in this matrix. This is known as the payoff matrix. So, here you see there are 4 rows, row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4, and rows are corresponding to the courses of action for player A. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, in this case there are 5 courses of actions for player B. Now, let us see that the worst possibilities for the courses or each courses of actions for player A. If the player A chooses the first course of action and at the same time player B chooses first course of action, in that case the gain for player A is -2. That means player A has to give ₹2 to player B. And if player A takes the second courses of action, so the worst case is this, that he will get at least ₹1 from player B. Similarly, the worst cases for player A for third course of action and fourth courses of actions are -4 and -6. So, among these worst cases the best options is 2. So, player A will always take the second course of actions to ensure a gain of ₹1. Now, for player B, if he takes the first course of action, the maximum value is 5. So, the worst case is player B has to give ₹5 to player A. If he takes second course of action, the worst case is ₹3 he has to give to player A. And if he takes the third course of actions, the worst case is this, that he has to pay ₹1 to player A. Like that 4 and 5, the maximum values are 5 and 6. That means if player B takes the fourth course of action, he has to give ₹5 to player A, and if he takes the fifth course of action, he has to pay ₹6 to player A. Now, what among these worst cases, what is the best one? Best one is obviously the lowest of all these values which are there, the maximum values in this column. So, 5, 3, 1, 5, 6, among all these values the minimum is 1. So, player B will always take his third course of action and player A will always consider his second course of action. See, if the player B observes that the player A is always taking second course of action, so he will ensure a minimum gain of ₹1. In that case, player B has to choose the option 3, so that he will ensure that player A should not get more than 1. Why? Because if the player A considers this second course of action, if B instead of option 3, if he takes option 1, then obviously player B has to give ₹3 to player A. So, the solution for this game is player B always consider his third course of action to ensure maximum loss of ₹1, and here player A will always consider his second course of action, so that he will ensure a minimum gain of ₹1, and this one is known as the saddle point, and saddle point exists when in the case of pure strategies. And you see that saddle point is a point in the payoff matrix which is lowest in the row and highest in the column. See, 0, 1, 0, -4, the highest value is 1, and if you consider this row, second row, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, the lowest value is ₹1. And what are the courses of actions for player A and player B? Player A will always consider the course of action for corresponding to the row in which the saddle point lies. In this case, the saddle point lies in second row. So, player A will choose always the option 2 throughout. And what about the player B? Player B will choose the course of action corresponding to the column in which the saddle point lies. So, player B, there are 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but out of these 5 columns, the saddle point 1 that lies in the third column. So, player B will always choose third column because in this column the saddle point lies. Now see, on examining each of his pure strategies, player A note that the worst outcome if he plays his course of action 1 throughout, when B always play 1. Player A uses his course of action 2 throughout and player B uses his courses of action 3 throughout, and the value of the game is 1, that is the element in the saddle point. In this payoff matrix there are 3 options for player A, there are 3 options for player B. So in this case the worst possibilities for option 1 for player A is -2. So that means that player A has to give rupees 2 to player B. For the case of 2, the worst possibilities is -6, and for case 3 the worst possibility is -8. So among these works the best one is option 1. So player A will always consider option 1 throughout. For player B, the worst possibilities in this case is -2, because this is the -2 for option 1, and for option 2 the worst possibilities is 20, and for maximum value is -2. So the maximum value is -2. So among this maximum -2, 20 and -2, the minimum is -2. So player B will always choose either option 1 or option 3, and player A will always choose option 1. There are 2 saddle point in this payoff matrix, -2, because -2 occurs either in the first column and the third column, and here for player A will choose his first course of action, and for player B either choose option 1 or option 3, because there are 2 saddle points in this matrix. Now this is the solution in the previous game. Player A uses his course of action 1 throughout, and player B may use either of his course of action 1 or 3 throughout, or a mixed strategy which uses any combination of these courses of action. Now in this case you see, determine the solution of this game whose payoff matrix is given below. Let us consider the payoff matrix. So in this case you see, for player A there are 3 options. So -6 is the worst case, because player A has to give rupees 6 to player B, and here -3, and here for player A, for this case the worst is -3. But you see that in this case there is a very important topic that is known as a dominance. So we can eliminate some rows or column with clear observations. You see, from the point of view for the player B, now you see that option the column 3, the digits are 3, 6 and 4, and for column 1 the elements are -4, -4 is less than 3, -3 is less than 6, and 2 is less than 4. So for player B it will never consider option 3, because these options is always dominated by the first option, because all the elements in the first column is less than the corresponding element of the third column. So third column we can eliminate, and we can reduce the size of the payoff matrix. So we have eliminated the third column, and this is the payoff matrix for the second column. Now similarly we can omit the option 2, and we can reduce the size of the payoff matrix. Now how to find out the dominance? Dominance means it is possible for us to reduce the payoff matrix. How it is possible? As regards the columns are concerned, if all elements in a column are greater than or equal to the corresponding element in another column, then the column is dominated and can be eliminated from the matrix. Similarly, if all the elements in a row are less than or equal to the corresponding element in another row, then that row is dominated and can be eliminated from the matrix. That is why with the help of this technique, that is dominance technique, we can reduce the size of the payoff matrix. Now we will see that how we can solve the problems which are related to mixed strategies. For mixed strategies, what we should do for any game theory? First of all, we have to find out the probabilities for each course of action, because he can take any of these options, and we have to find out the value of the game. First of all, there are few methods for mixed strategies: algebraic method, calculus method and linear programming method. Today we will take up the mixed strategies for algebraic method. Now let us consider this payoff matrix there are two players, and for player A there are two options, option 1 and 2, and for player B again there are two options, option 1 and option 2, and these are the elements that in the payoff matrix. But in this case the mixed strategies is only possible when there is no saddle point. That means the maximum values in the payoff matrix will constitute any of this diagonal. That means the maximum values for this matrix either will stay in this diagonal or in this diagonal of this matrix. Now you see how to consider the case for mixed strategies. As I told you that for the mixed strategies we have to find out the probabilities for each options. So there are options 1 and 2 in the previous payoff matrix. So the player A choose action 1 with probability P, and therefore chooses action 2 with a probability 1 minus P, because the total probability is always 1. In short, A strategy is written as within bracket P comma 1 minus P. Now we have to find out the strategies, that is the probability for each options for each player. Now suppose the player B select strategy 1, then the expected gain to player A is AP plus C into 1 minus P, because this we can get, this is from first option for player A and this is for the second option. This is the total gain if the player B takes the first option. Similarly, if the player B takes the second option, so this is BP into D1 minus P will the net gain. But A strategy should be such that he will get equal gain if player B takes option 1 or option 2. The options taken by player B, his gain should be same. So if you equate these two equations, so we can find out the value of P. So this is the probability for the player A to take the first option. Now the second option for player A will be definitely 1 minus, the probability will be 1 minus P. Now this is the case for the probability for the player A. Now let us see how we can calculate the probability for player B. Let us take the player B takes the strategy 1 and 2 with probability Q and 1 minus Q. So our main duty is to calculate Q, that is the probability with which the player B takes the first option. If you can calculate Q, that is the probability for the player B to take the first option, for the second option will be obviously 1 minus Q. So this is the net loss of player B if the player A takes the first option, and this is the net loss of player B if the player A takes the second option. But this should be equal, because this option should be such that it will be same irrespective of player A takes whether it takes first option or second option, and by equating these two equations we can calculate the value of Q. After this we have to calculate the value of the game. As we all know that value of the game is the gain for player A. So we can put the value of P in any of the expressions for gain of A, and in that case you can calculate the value V, that is the value of the game for the player A. So this V is the value of the game and this expression is the gain of A, and you see that the value V. So from the payoff matrix, with the help of these three equations, expressions for P, expressions for Q and expressions for V, we can easily calculate the probabilities for